This game was circled on the calendars of college football fans all season long, and it more than lived up to the hype, and it sees the Alabama Crimson Tide in the 33-game home win streak of the Georgia Bulldogs, taking down the Dogs 24-21. One of the hardest things to do in sports is to win a state championship, and it's even harder to win back-to-back state championships. But that is the mission that the Carver Tigers had coming into Mercedes-Benz Stadium on Tuesday, and that is the mission that they accomplished, defeating Hateville Charter 24-7 to win the Class 2A state championship for the second straight year, the first team in Columbus history to win back-to-back state football championships. For the fourth straight game, the Auburn Tigers found themselves in a one-possession game against a top 25 opponent. And for the fourth straight game, the Auburn Tigers fell to said opponent. On Saturday, the Tigers fell to Missouri 23-17 in double overtime, leaving a lot more questions than answers on where Auburn goes from here. Thank you, Tyler, and good evening, everyone. There's nothing like Friday nights here in the swamp, and in just under 90 minutes, the Glenwood Gators are going to come out of that locker room. Inner Sandman's going to be blaring through the speakers of Sammy Howard Field, and the Gators will be ready to do battle against Trinity Presbyterian in this second-round playoff matchup. Now, Trinity Presbyterian is going to be one of the toughest tests that Glenwood has faced this season, but head coach Ryan Nelson believes this can be a special team and a special run in these playoffs. But they have to take things one game at a time.
I just felt like, we kind of had a little burden on our back from last year where we got beat in the first round. So, it's kind of a sigh of relief for our kids to come out and play early and play really well. So, it's game by game, Jack, right now. And, we're not looking ahead. We're not looking at last week. The only thing we're focused on right now is can we play our best game at 8 o'clock this Friday night and give it our best shot and find a way to win the ball game.
Like I've said it before a million times, y'all, there's nothing like playoff football in the Chattahoochee Valley, and this one shapes up to be a fantastic matchup. And of course, the highlights are yours tonight on the Prep Zone. Live from Sammy Howard Field in Smith Station, Jack Patterson, WRBL News 3 Sports. T-Red, back over to you.
We begin with breaking news out of Auburn University.
Tigers head basketball coach Bruce Pearl has announced he is stepping down immediately.
Sports Director Jack Patterson joins us live from Neville Arena in Auburn with more. Jack.
Thank you, Phil and Teresa, and good evening, everybody. It's a day that many people thought would come at some point, but it's a day that no one thought would be today, as head coach Bruce Pearl has stepped down and retired as the head coach of the Auburn Tigers. But man, what a legacy he leaves behind in the arena behind me. Coach Pearl, the all-time winningest coach in Auburn basketball history with 232 wins. He has 5 SEC championships here, 6 NCAA tournament appearances, and of course, Auburn's first 2 Final Four appearances in 2019 and 2025. Now, Pearl is going to be taking a special ambassador role with the university, and he mentioned that he'll still be around campus supporting Auburn's athletic programs. As for basketball, the torch has been passed down to his son, Stephen Pearl, who has been a long-time assistant under Coach Pearl. His introduction is set for Wednesday. Now, coming up a little bit later in sports, we'll have much more on this historic day on the Plains. But for now, live from Neville Arena in Auburn, Jack Patterson, WRBL News 3 Sports. Phil, Teresa, back over to you.
Thanks so much for that live report, Jack.
Coach, once again, thank you for taking a little bit of time out your day to sit with us. First question I got to ask is probably the question that many had to ask. What was it like when it hit you that you were going to be the head men's basketball coach for the Auburn Tigers?
Yeah, it was a very surreal moment. Obviously, a very exciting opportunity, really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You know what I mean? So the weight of it was a lot because there was 2 things going on. You had to watch your dad and your boss, who you've been working with for 11 years, you played for 5 years, and obviously who I've been with for 38 years, step away from the one thing that he's loved as much, if not more than anything in his life. So that was tough, but also a very proud moment for me because, he obviously wants to step away in a time when he can spend more time with his family, his grandkids, and do something with a little less stress on his life. So I was proud of him for making, a difficult decision. But then in addition, this is something I've been dreaming about my entire life. So for that to obviously come to fruition was obviously an incredible honor and was a very, very surreal moment for me.
Now let's take you over to the Lumpkin Center. 10th ranked CSU hosting Flagler tonight. Early on, CSU's down by 2. Don't worry though, Roman Son buries that three-pointer right into your living room. Cougs lead by 1. A few minutes later, Flagler's up by 4, but Joshua Guilford cuts into that lead with a 3 of his own. That makes it a 1-point game again. And then the CSU press defense causing a turnover, and the break heads down to Jared Adderton for a big-time rack attack. This game back and forth all the way through, but the Cougs hang on to win 66-62. Hey, they are 22-3 on the season. The Spencer Green Wave hosting the Sumter County Panthers, big one in Region 1-2A. Early in the first quarter, Wanagiri is true from 23 yards out. That gives the Panthers a 3-0 lead. Now later in the first quarter, the snap goes over the quarterback's head. Aaron Kearse is there to pick it up, and there's nothing but green turf and Georgia sky ahead of him. He goes coast to coast for the touchdown, and that makes it 10-0 Sumter County. And Tyler, they were just getting started. On the ensuing kickoff, the Green Wave get the kickoff and they start to return, but Donovan Minter is there for Sumter County to strip the ball, and Caden James is there, Johnny on the spot for the scoop and score. That makes it 17-0 Panthers. Big win for Sumter County. They win 51-14. Now we take you to Randy Jordan Field as the Columbus ladies look to sweep Drew Charter after winning game 1. First inning, CHS up 3-0 already. Emily Baltan shoots that ball between third and short. Aubrey McBride, come on home. That makes it 4-zip Blue Devils, and they were far from done. Sadie Childers now up at the plate. She rips one to right field. That's a base hit. That's going to score Peyton Brown. That makes it 6-zip Columbus. And that was more than enough for Addie Hart on the mound. She had a perfect game in 30 pitches in game 1 and a no-hitter in game 2. Columbus runs away with this one. They win both games today, 20-0. They're moving on to the Sweet 16. The Dragons Den we go as these rivals battle for the Continental Division lead. First period, no score until John Batita tips in Gordon Whalen's shot into the back of the net. That makes it 1-0 Carolina after the 1. But in the second period, Dragons strike quickly. Alex Storjahan with the backhand feed to Justin McDonald. J. Matt backhands it home, and we're all tied up at 1 apiece. Less than 30 seconds later, off the face-off is Alex Storjahan being Alex Scorjahan. He goes top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. That makes it a 2-1 Dragons lead, and they go on to get the win 5-2 over the Thunderbirds. Jackson and Shaw in the Final Four later this week. 23 minutes in, Andres Bonilla sets up Kelvin Reyes in the box. He turns and goes up for 90. That's a golazo, my friends. Raiders strike first. It's 1-0. 10 minutes later, Bonilla on the corner kick. It falls down to Fabian Barak, and he bangs it past the keeper. Shaw takes a 2-0 lead 7 minutes before the half. But they weren't done yet. 3 minutes left in the half. Bonilla with a beautiful ball through to Reyes. He finds the back of the net for a second time on the night. And hey, the Shaw Raiders are moving on to the Final Four. They get the win over Jackson 5-2.
Yeah, I mean, you can
it's important enough to be
exactly, it's important enough.
Because Bad Mac is not good, okay? Like there's certain people who are certified to make mac and cheese on the holidays.
Yes, if you haven't made it before, don't
if you mess it up, it could be catastrophic.
Like for me, it's my wife and it's my mom. Okay, so certain people are certified to make the mac. Hey everybody, what's up and what's good? Now, I know the weather is more suitable for hockey, but we're talking basketball this afternoon. The snow has caused a lot of reschedulings and postponements with the region tournaments just days away from getting underway, especially in the state of Alabama. We caught up with a few coaches to see how they're handling this and getting their teams ready for playoff action.